talk about tractors. I love tractors, and I love to work them. I just think I'm in heaven when I'm in a tractor. So it all started when I was 10 years old or younger, but I did start driving them at 10 years old. And so ever since then, I kept up with the latest tractor, just like a guy that's crazy about cars. Well, I'm crazy about tractors. Tractors and cats and all that stuff. So I started on the farm and with a Model A John Deere. And it was the first rubber-tired tractor I think they made. It was back in 1942, and we had a rubber-tired tractor. And very few people had a rubber-tired tractor. They were all steel wheels. And then as time went, we bought another tractor on the farm, and we increased our farming capacity, and then another one, and all of a sudden we had a tractor to clean the barn, tractor for farming, and then we went into, my dad bought a cat, a little D2, started from the bottom, then a D4, and at that time I left the farm. Now went into the service, spent 2 years in the service, and I missed the tractors, but I had no way to make that happen. So I got a job and kept on going. Finally, I got enough money saved up to buy a tractor and start landscaping. And so that's what I did. And my first tractor that I bought was just a little Boland's garden tractor, but I made a blade for underneath it so that I could drive that around a yard that had been tilled and smooth it out and compact it evenly and plant grass seed on it and put fertilizer on it and top it off with sawdust or peat moss, and I could grow grass. So then I started doing that, and then I was getting a little more money saved up because I kept getting jobs in new developments in the Portland area, and I keep saving money. Then I bought a tractor with like a farm tractor. It was a larger tractor. It was 35 horsepower, and it was a Massey Ferguson, and I put a tiller on it that was 4 feet wide, and actually 52 inches, a little more than 4 feet. Anyway, I would then till the yard with that big tractor. Well, we called it big, and it would till the ground real fine, like 8 inches deep, 6 inches minimum. And then I took that other little tractor and graded it off and finished a yard in a day. And then I could do one complete yard, front and back, in one day, and that's the only way that could happen. Other landscapers they were not farm boys, so they kept using the little tractor and not tilling it deep, and I just kept going, and all of a sudden, my second tractor looked exactly like that tractor behind me right now. And that tractor behind me is 1969, and it's still here, and it's like this first tractor I bought. And we just keep them up like that, and we look good, and we get our work, because what you see is what you get. So when you come on the job and you got clean equipment, and that was my motto. I wanted to look presentable when I come on a job. I wanted to do the job and really clean up, no matter whose dirt I was cleaning up or whatever. When I left the job, it was spick and span. And all that did was give me 3 more jobs, because people would be so happy, never been treated like that before, and they'd refer me, and away I went. And so I claim that that's why I succeeded. That's one of the reasons why I succeeded, is what I should say, because I didn't have to advertise. I didn't have to be low bidder. It was a slam dunk. The person I worked for before sold the job for me. So then, as life went on, everything grew. I don't want to brag or anything like that, but I'm proud of my success, because I had to figure this out myself. This is not something that I inherited or that I was taught in particular for it. And I didn't go to school for it. I just made it. I made it work. I knew that would work. So then I started buying old antique tractors like I used to drive when I was 10 years old. So one day I seen a Model A John Deere sitting out in a farm community, and it was for sale. And I stopped in and I looked at it, and I bought it. I mean, then I took it home, cleaned it up, painted it a little bit, fixed it up, started it up, and I set it out in my yard every single summer, in my front yard. Not only do I have that one there, but this kept going right down the line. So now I have 4 tractors that I have sitting out there, and 2 cats, and all of them were the same tractors that I drove when I was at home before I left. And so they bring back good memories. In the wintertime, I put them to bed in the shed, and they stay nice and look good for next year. So there you are. There's my tractor story. And people come and look at them, and they, say it looks nice. But my yard's always got also an army truck, because when I was in the Korean War, that wasn't long after I left home, I drove that same kind of truck in Korea when I was there. And I found one in the paper for sale about 10 years ago. That's That's how long it took. 10 years ago, and I said, I gotta have that because that's just like the one I drove, and I'll show all my family what it was like. And so I did. Now I drive it in a parade every 4th of July. And the kids all get in it. The kids all get in it for the 4th of July parade and throw candy to the kids in the parade. So that's what's going on. Part of my life.
Are you still engaged in the new technologies as the new tractors come out? Or are you more focused on more classic and older ones?
Well, today we don't landscape anymore, so to speak, not as a landscaper that plants plants in homes and businesses. We build, my sons, when they grew up and started having an interest in owning and taking over my landscaping business, they wanted to expand in golf courses first. And so they asked if we could do that. And I said, okay. And they presented me with a plan. And I bought it. I said, in the end result, it's up to you. I'm not going to be here forever, and you're going to take over this business. So if you want to do golf courses and slow up on the landscaping till you get established, it's all up to you. If you make it, good. If you don't, it's yours. It's not, I don't need it anymore. So they did, and they succeeded. Not only did they succeed, but they showed me up. They done better than I did. And so they went on into the golf course. They became good at it. They were established. They had work. And they went into another line of work, was very related to landscaping, of course. And it was to build sports fields. And that is free drainage fields. We live in a wet climate where you can't use the field as much as you'd like to because it's made of dirt and it turns into mud and it doesn't work. You can't use it. So the sand drainage worked. And then another invention came up was the sports fields with artificial turf. And boy, they jumped on that, and they became they'd done more sports fields in Washington, Idaho, and Oregon than any other person that I know or company. And so they're well established in it and so forth. Now I want you to remember one thing. With this tractor stuff and all that, I started farming filberts here in a real small scale. We rented a hazelnut farms. We would do custom work, and we would farm on shares, not owning the land. And a partner of mine or he became a partner at that time, talked me into it, and we went for it. And so I still farm 30 acres of filberts right now and own the land. And so I'm still a farmer. And I still use the same tractors, all that stuff. It's just life for me. It's a good life for me. We have our own picking machines. We do the whole farming procedure from beginning to end ourselves. We farm out none of it. We're tooled up to do it all. And it became a money-making industry. So we were happy, and we still do it, and we don't plan on stopping. Thank you.